For the first few years of my life, I could not speak. But I'm obviously speaking now because I'm here up on stage speaking to all of you. Yeah, you got that right. So, growing up, I remember going to school. And one of the first things I struggled with was academic curriculum. For example, I could open up a fiction book tomorrow and have the first 10 chapters read in less than 10 minutes. And part of that was reading comprehension skills problems. Although that was a problem for me. Tutoring helped, but it didn't help much. So that was a very big problem growing up with academic curriculum. Another problem growing up at school was interacting with peers. For example, on that, I remember dealing with friends, but I always had anger issues with them. They didn't understand why I had anger issues, but it was due to my fact that I had autism. And we didn't always get along because of that. And therapy helped with that, but it didn't help much, and that progressed little over time. When I got to high school, I had a very, very, very tough special education teacher. And she made those two problems worse. She always yelled at me when I had problems interacting with peers. She never understood that. And she had no idea how to improve my reading comprehension skills. And on top of it, she was also the school play director. And when she would never give me the main parts in the play, or any good part for all that matter. And there's about 400 people in the auditorium of that high school, and I was never cheered for by anyone. So I would leave high school from 400 non-cheers. Pretty bad way to go out of high school, huh? So I felt that the best thing for me to go off after high school was go to college. I went to college, and I majored in computer information systems. I did better with academic curriculum there because I had better teachers, and I had better support from a bunch of people in that college classroom. I remember getting all A's and B's throughout my college career, even though I was always hard on myself. And I remember going into every class and even finding a girlfriend out of that class. Yeah, being in a relationship's cool. Going on. So then, after getting all A's and B's, going through college, I remember going into one college class one time in computer information systems. It was a class called RPG4 programming. And as soon as I walked into that first class, I remember walking into that class, and when I got that projector out, showing all that computer programming languages, and I remember walking out, and the first thing I said was, no, it's not happening. I was in the counselor's office the next day, and I changed my major to Office Information Technology. So I ended up graduating college cum laude, 4 years, all A's and B's, and 2 very, very, very major awards. Although even though my college girlfriend and I are broken up now, as I'm currently in another relationship today, she inspired me to have this greatest moment in my entire life, and this is how she inspired it. I remember when we were on a date at a Red Robin restaurant, it's a restaurant chain in the United States. We were on a date, and she tells me about this singer who's a Canadian herself. She's from this country. I'm from America, but she's from here. This woman is named Shania Twain. I didn't know who Shania Twain was at the time, but I remember going home that night, and I was downloading 3 of her songs. And as I downloaded 3 of them, I knew a few of them as a little boy, because I remember in the back seat of my car with my mom and my brother, and we were singing along to a lot of these songs. A few of them were, You're Still the One, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and That Don't Impress Me Much. And then I started watching some of her YouTube interviews. And I was just fascinated by everything about this woman. Everything. I heard that she was performing in Las Vegas, Nevada of that year, because she was just coming back from the stage for the first time to perform in Las Vegas after a 6-year hiatus from music. This was my chance to go see a Shania Twain concert. And I remember asking my mom, Mom, can we go see Shania Twain in Las Vegas? And my mom responds to me, if you pay for it. So with hard work from jobs all the years, from fast food, warehousing, and a bunch of other jobs throughout my life, I took the biggest gamble of my life by paying $2,000 for a flight, hotel, and concert tickets. And the concert tickets were $500, by the way, because I wanted the 11th row, and I wanted the end, and I wanted my mom to sit next to me. Hopefully that's going to be the case. So that was the biggest $2,000 I ever spent in my life. Why would you pay that much just to go to a concert? Come on, are you kidding me? Yes, I did, by the way. So, time for the show. Time to go to Philadelphia International Airport, where I'm coming from, to come to this speech today. I was in that car on the way to that airport, and I was listening to that song, Any Man of Mine, and I was listening to it 1,000,000 times like it was singing in that song. 5-hour flight, longest flight of my life at the time. First thing I did when I got out of that airport, the flight to go to that Las Vegas airport, the first thing I see was slot machine. Gee, I'm already having fun. Got down to the Strip, and the first day and a half on the Strip, beautiful Strip, dazzling lights, a bunch of stars, not as much stars in Toronto and Los Angeles, of course. It was a really very nice day and a half, but now it's time for the show, the biggest show of my entire life. I remember getting in my hotel room. While my mom was in the bathroom getting ready, I was already ready. I prayed to God on one knee that I was going to get on stage with Shania Twain this night. It was even like the American football player Tim Tebow did after he scored the game when he touchdown on an 80-yard touchdown drive against the Pittsburgh Steelers that year. I did the same thing. And then when I got out of my hotel room, I remember telling my mom, Mom, I am going to get on stage with Shania Twain this night. And my mom responds to me, Louis, don't worry about it. Not everybody can do such a thing. But I'm like, no, that's not what I thought. So I get down to the show in the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the seats were exactly like I hoped. I was in the 11th row, close up. I was on the end, and I made her sit right next to me for this very important reason. Show comes out, motorcycle, she's coming up, waving at me, I'm waving at her back. This woman was really making my night. Show goes on. Now remember, I was listening to the song Any Man of Mine 1,000,000 times. She comes down, I got a hug out of that, and I remember telling my friend about that, and she goes, oh my God, you touched her? And I go, yes, I did. Finally, the biggest part of the show, as I learned this months ago on Facebook, that she was going to bring fans on stage during the shows. I got up, and there was a security guard right behind me. And I asked her, can I come up? And she goes, come on up here, Pennsylvania. Gave her a hug on stage after I told the audience in front of 4,000 people that I have autism. And you should have seen her face. Looked shocked, and that's when I got 4,000 roars. She took my hand and guided me to that stone, and as she was doing that, I told her she gave me the greatest night of my entire life. Performed the next 3 songs next to me, and asked me my name, and when I told her it was Louis, you should have told her. You should have seen how she said that my name. So thank you all, and Shania, if you ever see any of my YouTube videos, anything that I've done today, anything, thank you for changing my life, and I am honored to be here in your home country giving this speech in front of MoMondays Toronto. Thank you.